Excuse me. Cool, we're just waiting on a couple more games here before we start off the late night number 92. Actually, just one more game, so it should be about 5 minutes left. All right, looks like we should be starting in a couple of minutes. How about we go ahead and head over to the booth here just to say hi. Give me a second. How's it going, Shuffle Squad YouTube channel? My name is PrimeTimeWizardTv, and today is the late night number 92. I believe there's over 300 participants in this one, so you just know whenever it's a late night, you just know there's going to be a ton of players for sure. It is the premier online event, I believe, for the Pokemon trading card game. I mean, where else can you win a trip to Japan from the comfort of your own home? Only here at the late night series for sure. Just looking, yes, pairings are up here, so we're just going to wait for a game before I transition over. Just looking at their top 8 here, we have a Lost Zone box piloted by Ryan Simmons, James Sims playing the Gardevoir Mewtwo, Joe Higashi playing Inteleon Urshifu, Vince playing Gardevoir Mewtwo, so a couple of Gardevoir Mewtwo's in the top cut, Ploopy playing Mew and Genesect, the tried and true. We also have Top a Deck Please playing Lost Box, Morgan Abreu playing Gardevoir, and Pink Onion 1 with the lone Goodra Lost Zone box. So quite the meta we have here on the top 8. Very diverse for sure. We have 3 Gardevoirs actually though in the top 8. Surprisingly enough, no Lugia. Top 9, Fiddy Paldis. Looks like they bubbled out of top 8, but they are playing the Lugia Archeops. So I don't know when was. It's odd to say, right? I don't know when was the last time I've just been able to say we're doing a top 8 without Lugia V-Star. That is very odd for sure, but not unwelcome. Very excited to see a lot of these players. I want to see some Gardevoir EX for sure. Especially looks like the Mewtwo version is what's a little bit more popular for this meta. Makes a lot of sense. I believe there was quite a few Lost Box. Let's check out the metagame actually. So the most played deck is Gardevoir, followed by Lost Box, and then Lugia Archeops. So Gardevoir Mewtwo actually having a lower cut of the pie there. All right, looks like, yeah, we're just waiting for a couple of players to set up here. Give me 1 second to find a... Yeah, give me 1 second to find a game. But yeah, hopefully you guys are as hyped as I am just to see what we have cooking here at the late night. I honestly believe like this tournament dictates a lot of the meta shares for all across the world for sure. Cool. Give me 1 second here. Looks like we do have a game in our hands. Yeah, all right, we do have one here. Let's go ahead and transition over to the game. I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, we have James Sims against Morgan Abreu. Again, apologies if I'm mispronouncing your names there. We have Morgan Abreu playing Gardevoir, straight Gardevoir, no Mewtwo, against James Sims, Gardevoir and Mewtwo. So it's just a battle of the Gardevoirs here. And it's just a matter of which build is a little bit better. If I have to think myself here, Mewtwo is a great card. Mewtwo being able to just do 160 damage across the board could be big, especially if your opponent hasn't evolved anything. And that's the question here: who's going to be faster, right? Will James Sims be able to set up their Mewtwo and start picking off Ralts and Kirlias across the board? Or, you know, would straight Gardevoir, just a little bit more consistency, just rush them here? Looks like we do have James Sims starting us off, opening up with the Mew, Celebrations Mew, not too bad, gets a couple of items there. Opens up with only 2 Ralts, however, as we go over now to Morgan's side of the board. They do open up a Fog Crystal, able to find themselves any basic Psychic Pokemon or basic Psychic Energy. Just doing a quick deck search here, realizing what resources I have to work with. Looking at their deck here, nothing too surprising. They are playing a heavier line of Professor's Research, Lead Professor's Research. I've seen a lot of these lists really bounce around that, right? Sometimes Research is a great card at getting fresh 7, but you could also just put in, since you have a lot of draw with the Kirlias anyway, a lot of people maybe opt for a heavier line of probably Judges or Miriams or even Workers. You know, these draw 3 effects that have a little bit more utility effects for sure. Looks like we're just going to start off with a Serena here. Very tough discard. Going for the second option because there is no Pokemon V on the other side of the field. Gonna have to discard a couple of cards to be able to draw up to 5. Looks like they're opting to keep the rare candy in hand, and it looks like that's going to pay off here because they do have a Gardevoir already in hand. Looks like they're going to go ahead and use a level ball healer to grab a Ralts. A very risky play here. Means they are at the mercy of their top deck, right? By using that level for Ralts, that leaves you open to trying to top deck for a Kirlia. Let's see if it pays off again. They do have Gardevoir. Question is, do they have enough energies? Because of the Roar of the Sword there, which ends your turn, gets an energy from the deck onto the Zacian V. They technically can start swinging next turn, so not too bad there. So no pressure at all. As James here does get the Kirlia off, attaches the Sky Seal Stone. Not gonna matter in this matchup. Neither player plays a V Max or a V Star Pokemon. And yeah, as we see here, James is really popping off. He has one Kirlia in play. Did use a Fog Crystal, Popper sequencing there, getting that out of the deck, gets another Kirlia in play, and this is where we see it, right? We're gonna see the Kirlia train. And yeah, let's see, another level ball means another Kirlia. So just like that, James has access to essentially draw 6 every turn, as well as another Ralts there. So really getting set up. We're going to start off with a Celebrations Mew getting an Ultra Ball, though. Let's see if they opt to use it. They could use an Ultra Ball here. I want to check if James plays any sort of rare candy. Yeah, looks like they don't. The Mewtwo versions typically don't play rare candy in their build there, just because they really have to slot in a V-Union line, an entire V-Union line, which is 4 cards. Looks like Morgan was able to get the Kirlia there. Has a couple of Kirlias. They have the research. They have a slew of supporters here. Very tough choice in my opinion. They could opt for the Miriam, just get back that Gardevoir, Shining Art card to Gardevoir, but Judge not too bad there. Again, nets you 4 cards. You still have the Kirlia to draw a couple more there. Looks like, yeah, we're gonna see another couple of refinement. Probably the most used ability at the moment. Ooh, they did draw into the Cresselia. Again, that Cresselia has the the Cresselia from Lost Origin has attack Moon Glow Reverse. It can move up to 2 damage counters from each of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Great combination with Gardevoir EX for sure. Gardevoir EX, again, able to attach as many Psychic Energy. With Psychic Embrace, attach any amount of Psychic Energy, basic Psychic Energy from a discard pile to your Psychic Pokemon, but you put 2 damage counters. So great combo there. Great one prize attacker as well to just snipe off maybe a Ralt or a Kirlia. But we're just going to go ahead and use the Zacian there. Zacian be from the Celebration Storm /60 plus 30 for each Psychic Energy. Just more than enough to take a knockout on the Celebrations Mew as we move on over back to James. Again, James has 2 energies on that Kirlia. If we could find ourselves a Gardevoir with the Shining Arcana ability and the Brainwave attack, we could see a knockout here. Could see James go up 2 prizes. There we go. We see 3 Kirlias in play. That's 6 refinements. That's drawing 6 cards. So more likely than not, they will be able to attack here. They are going to need both Gardevoir and Gardevoir EX. Can they find it? Excuse me. Looks like we're going to start off with a Miriam. Shuffle back in the Celebrations Mew there. I feel like you were using it there for the draw 3. But absolutely powerful card, which great way to shuffle back in some Pokemon. There's a Shining Arcana Gardevoir. Shining Arcana, again, able to draw you 2 cards. If any of them are Psychic Energy, you get to attach them. Looks like, but worst case scenario, you do get to keep it. We do find another Kirlia there. How many Mewtwo V-Unions? There's 2 Mewtwo V-Unions. There's the Gardevoir EX, and just like that, do we have enough energy now in the discard pile to be able to hit 220? You're going to need 6 energies on a Gardevoir because it's 60 plus 30. You didn't quite keep count. Let's see if they have it, though. And there it is. 5. Do we have one more? There it is. 1 from the hand, I believe. And we're going to go for the Brainwave for 240 damage. Just enough to knock out that Zacian V, going up 2 prizes. Not too bad. And definitely threatening the Mewtwo. There's still a couple of Ralts and Kirlias in play. And if we don't get all of these Pokemon evolve, we could see another 2 prize turn coming up. Let's see. Big research here. We do see an Ultra Ball. We still have a couple of refinements to work with as well. Not seeing a ton of cards to work with. A couple of refinements for sure. There's a Rare Candy. We do have Rare Candy and the Ultra Ball. So we could find ourselves the Gardevoir EX. Could potentially attack with it as well. And we're going to see here, I believe we're out of refinements. Not too many things to work with. We have a couple energies in hand. This might just be an Ultra Ball for the Gardevoir EX. Gotta start swinging here. Gotta start taking some prizes for sure. Cool. Again, Gardevoir EX does have an attack as well. Miracle Force does 190 damage. You recover from all special conditions. I don't think that's going to matter too much, but 190 damage is a pretty solid number. As well as just having a ton of HP, right? Something we're going to have to keep in mind in this matchup is HP is not only like, yeah, the HP of your Pokemon, yes, but it is also a resource here. Because, for example, the Shining Arcana Gardevoir only has 140 HP. If you're going to use Psychic Embrace to power that up, the maximum amount of energies you can attach to it from the discard pile is 6. So the max damage output you're doing is 240 from the discard pile in any case. So technically, Gardevoir EX is a little bit out of reach. Looks like they did opt, yeah, they did opt to find another Kirlia, which paid off because they did draw into a Shining this Miracle Force Gardevoir EX. Just like that, they will have the attack here. Big question though is, are we about to see the Mewtwo V Union? Again, Mewtwo V Union is going to be a big card here. There's 3 Kirlias in the bench. It's able to do 160 damage spread. So taking down 2 Kirlias, yes, not only are you taking 2 prizes, but Kirlias are so valuable, right? They're your draw card, they're your attackers, they're your support Pokemon, they're your energy acceleration. There's so many things that Kirlia can do, the potential for Kirlia to do, excuse me. And getting those out of the way definitely is going to hurt. As we just see a Psychic Embrace here, taking the knockout, going down to 4, evening it out. But now back to James. Finding the Zacian V there is a pretty good grab. Because they did have to lose one earlier. They do have access to Miriam to try and draw into a second one. But getting the second one off the prizes is absolutely huge for sure. We're going to see an Ultra Ball there. We're going to refine, discarding another Mewtwo V Union piece. I believe that's our 3rd one. Can we find a 4th one? Let's see it. Again, worst case scenario, what can they attack with? They can, if they have a Zacian V, they can try and knock out the Gardevoir with a Zacian V for sure. And not only that too, like a Mewtwo V Union has a couple of attacks they have to work with, right? I was talking about the spread option, and they can do 160 spread, take care of the Kirlia, or they can even just do 300 damage straight to that Gardevoir EX, getting the Mew into the act, using the Celebrations Mew there to find an Ultra Ball that might as well just guarantee that we draw into it. Worker being played now for the draw 3 effect. We have another level ball here, potentially maybe find another Ralts. Looks like we don't quite have one. Temple of Sinnoh. I think we're just thinning out the hand here, just in case. We're going to see an Ultra Ball, discarding the Battle VIP Pass and another Temple of Sinnoh for nothing. Maybe one of the pieces is prized. Do we have a knockout here? Again, you can't attack with... Oh, excuse me. Mewtwo V Union is ready to go. And just like that, there it is. 310 HP when you have all 4 cards in the discard pile. Can summon this Pokemon. There you go. We're going to Psychic Embrace. Again, just attach energies. Absolutely powerful ability. If you thought accelerating 1 energy is powerful, getting to accelerate technically almost any amount from the discard pile, absolutely huge, as we do go into Mewtwo V Union here. And it is going to be the Psy-Splosion. 160 damage spread across the board, just enough to take out 2 Kirlias. And I like benching the Zacian V as well. This is pretty much signifying, hey, I might have checkmate here. Even if you deal with this Mewtwo V Union, I'm going to go down to 2 prizes. I have the Zacian V as well. I have multiple ways to take a knockout on the Gardevoir EX. They thin the deck as well. They only have 16 cards total left. Something, yes, something we have to do, something Morgan has to do here. They have to find something like a Judge or potentially a Roxanne. They do play 1 Roxanne. Fortunately, didn't quite draw into it just yet. I don't think it's in the discard pile, so it should be in there. Oh no, looks like it is prized there, unfortunately. No way to really... There's no way to... What do you call this? Disrupt the opponent, but at the same time, how do we take care of the Mewtwo V-Union? Maybe something we're trying to draw here is maybe something like a Gust option, right? Because to be able to knock out Mewtwo V-Union, the only way is with the Zacian V. But if you attack with the Zacian V, it's very, very easy to take another to give up to take 2 prizes as a James there. They're gonna have to find a Gust to take a knockout on the Zacian V with potentially a Shining Arcana Gardevoir. There's the boss's orders and the Ultra Ball. So it's possible here, but you also just have to hope that your opponent doesn't have Gust. I think that's the line of play. That's the only line of play available. Looks like we're going to go ahead and Ultra Ball both Zacian and the boss's orders. Looks like we're not going for the Gust option. Now that I think about it, right, if you go for the Gust on the Zacian V, you're going to have to put damage counters on the Gardevoir, right? You're going to have to put at least 100 damage on the Gardevoir. So that's not too bad, because technically 100, you have 40 left. 40 plus 130, that's 170. You know, they don't have the game there. I think that was the play, but let's see what Morgan has in store for us. Looks like they were able to draw an energy there off the Shining Arcana. But 1 energy off the Shining Arcana plus 6 energies to... Ooh! We're taking a knockout on the V-Union, excuse me. That is the play for sure. Yes, with 6 energy, we're doing 240 with the energy attachment. That's 270. Oh, 270 is actually just enough. So yeah, this was definitely the play. Taking a knockout on a big Mewtwo V-Union, but again, hoping they don't have the Gust. I'm sure something they really wanted was a way to disrupt the opponent. Maybe just trying to get the judge there. And let's see it. We do play Miriam here. Maybe just get a couple of Zacian Vs, or yeah, maybe a couple of Zacian Vs. At this point, all you need are attackers or big attackers, right? They should have. They do draw into it there, and they do have research. Since they will be going to 1 prize, they should can take a knockout on absolutely anything. And now we go back to James. James, it's just a matter of you have Gust, you have game. And with just the amount of draw support, I wouldn't be surprised if they do. They could potentially draw into their entire deck. If the 2 Kirlias draw 4, they both evolve into Shining Arcana Gardevoir, for example. But we're gonna have to see. The fact that we're already accelerating the energy maybe signifies that we just have it here. Again, it does 60 damage plus 30 for every psychic energy attached. 6 is 240. 7 is 270. This is quite a bit. Can't quite see. There's the boss's orders. And just like that, James is going to take game 1 here of the top 8 of the late night series, bringing them that much closer to Yokohama, Japan. Again, I think it definitely came down to being able to take multiple prizes each turn, right? The Mewtwo V-Union definitely showing why it deserves a spot in the Gardevoir deck. I'm sure something Morgan has to adjust. I mean, they did start off with a Zacian. Their own Zacian was able to take 1 prize, but it also meant they gave up 2 a little bit too early, right? They gave up 2 with the Zacian, then mid-game, Mewtwo V-Union was able to take out 2 Kirlia, and then just came down to take a knockout on a Gardevoir EX. Something Gardevoir EX can do fairly well, actually, is really attack with single prize attackers. The Shining Arcana Gardevoir not only is a great support Pokemon, it's a great attacker as well. So I'm sure That's something Morgan wants to see. Not starting that Zacian, getting the Mew, Celebration Mew, into the active is the most optimal starter there. Again, just great way to cycle through the deck. And we also see a couple of great cards, namely the Battle VIP Pass and the Level Ball. Should be able to see a couple of Ross. Looks like James just starting out with their own Mew as well. Both players having a pretty good start. Battle VIP Pass now being played. Let's see what's in the prizes. Looks like we have 2 Kirlias. Looks like we're going to have 1 Kirlia prize. And yeah, just going through the deck there. Excuse me. As we mysterious sail into another Battle VIP Pass, so we just get to keep that Level Ball in hand to turn into a Kirlia. Let's see if we opt to find like the Radiant Greninja over something like the Ralts, but getting 4 Ralts in play is not too bad. Especially if we have the potential for Rare Candy into a Gardevoir, since we do have the Celebrations Mew in the active. Yeah, so getting 4 Ralts in play. Do we drop the Zacian V? Again, Roar of the Sword is an absolutely powerful ability, but again, we got to see the downside of having a Pokemon V in play. As we move on over to James here. They do have the Ralts and the Battle VIP Pass, and they haven't even used Celebration Mew. I do find a couple Ralts. They just have the second Battle VIP Pass absolutely naturally there, opting to grab the Radiant Greninja as well. Both boards looking absolutely fierce. Radiant Greninja with the Concealed Cards ability. Absolutely great synergy in this deck. Gets energy into the discard pile, draws you a couple of cards, helps you set up both your discard pile and your hand. Let's see if they have anything else to play here. They haven't even played the supporter for a turn. Looks like it's going to be the Serena, discarding a Psychic Energy to draw a couple of more cards. There you go. We're going to see the Mysterious Tail grabbing a Fog Crystal. Fog Crystal grabbing 1 more energy from the deck. Just deck thinning at this point. As we pass over, looks like we top deck into a Kirlia. The more Kirlias, the better. Getting the Level Ball for the second Kirlia. That's going to be the last Kirlia in the deck. We do have another one in the hand, though. However, it's not the Silver Tempest Kirlia. It's the Mirage Step Kirlia. It allows you to search for 3 Kirlias and put them onto your bench. Very powerful ability. Reminds me of Frogadier in the past. But it's more of an ability you use when you're behind the game, right? When you're behind, for sure. Doesn't quite draw you cards. So, to be honest, not the biggest fan of the Kirlia, but I can definitely see its worth. Looks like we're going to opt to discard that Kirlia. And as we find a Rare Candy here, can we find another Gardevoir? We could start swinging. That could be the big thing here. If we could find the Gardevoir EX, we could start swinging here. There it is! Double Rare Candy Gardevoir. Turn 2. Not too bad there. As we're going to refine a little bit more, discarding the Sky Seal Stone. Again, not an important card in this matchup. Just goes to show the draw power of just refinements, Shining Arcanas. It makes these Stage 2 decks definitely viable in the current metagame. Looks like we're going to grab a Manaphy there just to thin it out. Shining Arcana. Can we get energies? Another Rare Candy. As well as the Temple of Sinnoh, nothing too much there, as looks like we are going to another Shining Arcana. We're not attacking this turn then. Again, Shining Arcana drawing us 2 more cards. At least if we are, I don't quite see it. Might just have to be a pass here. But boy, did they draw through their deck. Again, let's pass over to James here. Maybe they're opting to not take a knockout on something like the Mew. really preferring board state over prize race here, right? Taking knockout on Mew, not the biggest thing. You want to save your Pokemon to take knockouts on opposing threats like maybe Gardevoirs or the Mewtwo. Or maybe they didn't have enough energy in the discard pile. That's something I didn't keep in mind of as well. As we pass it over to James, let's see how they can set up. They should not be able to put any pressure this turn, right? James, unlike Morgan, does not play rare candy. So the best that could happen here is they find themselves a couple of Curlias with the Judge. Great use of Judge there, just because Morgan did have quite a big hand. A couple of refinements here after the Judge. Definitely a great thing to see. Again, energy or Mewtwo V-Unions in the discard pile. That's what we're looking for. That's what we have to keep track of. Getting a celebration for you, getting another Fog Crystal there. Excuse me. As we pass it over, you have a couple of refinements, couple of Shining Arcanas to deal with, to work with, excuse me. We do find a Boss's Orders from this hand. Again, if you're waiting for a turn to get a little bit more of an important knockout, it might be this turn. Again, all we're missing is the Gardevoir EX to get so we can start swinging here. To find Fog Crystal finds us another energy. We're thinning the deck. We have one more Shining Arcana to work with, plus the Mysterious Tail on the Celebrations Mew. More likely than not, double energy off the Shining Arcana. Typically, that's pretty cool. Typically, that's something you'd love to see, but right now we're looking for an Ultra Ball. Mysterious Tail, can we find it here? There's the Ultra Ball off of the Mysterious Tail. We are going to find ourselves the Gardevoir EX. All right. Ultra Ball is going to find us a Gardevoir EX. Next question is, are we going to take a targeted knockout? Where are we going to use this Gust? Again, Psychic Embrace, able to accelerate any amount of psychic energy from the discard pile, but in this scenario, it might just be used to... Oh, no, we're going to attach to the active Mew there. Treat into the Shining Arcana Gardevoir. Psychic Embrace. Actually like the sequence of play there. Some might think, why put damage onto your Gardevoir or over something like the Mew? I guess putting 20 damage on the Mew, that's damage that's going to stick, right? And when you know your opponent's playing something like the Mewtwo V-Union, it's better to have the damage on the active, where they're going to have to deal with this Gardevoir, and it's most likely not going to be with the Mewtwo V-Union. They're probably going to have to attack into it. So might as well get that damage out of the board for later in the game. So I love the sequencing there. As we move on over back to James, they only have one Curly in play. They did opt to Gust a Curlia. Things are looking quite dire, to be honest, on James' side of the field. Again, because they don't have the access to the shortcut. They don't have access to the rare candy. So that one Curlia has to evolve into something like the Gardevoir EX right now to be able to attack this turn. Excuse me. All right, let's see what we have here. Mysterious Tail, what can it find it? It is going to be Ultra Ball as well, so we're going to see another Gardevoir EX hit the board. Starting a Manaphy and a Psychic Energy. Oh, we're grabbing the Mewtwo V-Union piece. We might already have the Gardevoir EX in hand, so this is a great refinement target. Getting it out of the deck into the discard pile, just like that. Or are we going to opt to not swing this turn as well? That is also an option, right? Leaving the Mew in the active could be scary, Again, going down a couple of prizes isn't the best for sure. We're going to have another level ball here. Getting another Curlia. So just like that, we do have 3 Curlias in play. Quite the draw potential. Both players down to the last 15, 17 cards in the deck, while still having to take 5 or 6 prizes. Is quite a feat. Quite a feat for sure. There's 2 Mewtwo V-Unions pieces I see in the discard pile. There's the Gardevoir EX. We do have an attack here, but what are we going to attack with? Could go just attack with the Gardevoir EX itself. Is a possibility here. As we bench another Raw, so that might be the case here. Psychic Embrace. Powering up this Gardevoir EX, which with only 2 damage, well, with 40 damage on it, will give it 270 HP. Could be hard for the Shining Arcana Gardevoir to deal with, but we do know that Morgan has the Zacian V in hand. Again, the only difference between the Zacian V and the Gardevoir is the fact that Zacian V has more HP, means it can do more damage. Go into the Shining Arcana Gardevoir. We could just attack with the Shining Arcana Gardevoir, right? Putting 6 energy onto it, plus the energy from hand is 270, just enough to take a knockout there. That might be the case here. But we're going to draw a couple of cards for us, grabbing the Manaphy and the Radiant Greninja. I'm not sure if we need more draw support, although we could be losing the Shiny Arcana this turn. Something scary as well in the Gardevoir game is just if you run out of energies in the deck, right? If you run out of energies in the deck and you bench something like the Manaphy or the Radiant Greninja, despite these Pokemon only have 1 retreat cost, it is a lose condition, right? Getting them stuck in the active and no way to attach energy, since the Gardevoir EX Psychic Embrace only attaches to Psychic Pokemon. As we see here, Psychic Embrace, again, just making full use of the Gardevoir's HP there, putting the full 120 damage. Can't put any more because you can't attach energy to knock out your own Gardevoir. Not only is it a bad play in this specific scenario, but it's just not possible at all, as stated in Psychic Embrace. As we are going to judge here, limit both players' hands. Finding the Miriam and the Ultra, last 2 psychic energies as well. Not too bad there. And love to see the Miriam, because again, that is our main way to recycle these Pokemon back into the deck. And I'm sure we'd love to see a couple more Curlias or maybe the Shiny Arcana Gardevoir as we move back to James' side of the board. We're down to 5. Something I'm sure they'd love to see here is the Mewtwo V-Union. Right, Mewtwo V-Union has the capability to take a knockout on both Gardevoir and Curlia, leaving... essentially, you really do want to take a 2-prize turn here, right? So you're down to 5, your opponent's down to 3 cards. You have the capability to take out your opponent's draw support. Take out Refinement, take out Shining Arcana, both in one swing. Could be huge here. They have a couple of refinements to work with. Can they find it? Discarding a level. Level ball is not a Mewtwo V-Union piece. There's the leg. I believe we need 1 more. 1, 2. Yeah, it's 3. Level ball can find 1 more Curlia. No more Curlias in the deck. 8 cards left in the deck here. What do we have? If we miss out here, something we could do is even just attack with a Mew. We're going to Clara here. Clara does net us an energy and a couple of Pokemon. Something we could do is just attack with a Mew. If we're going to take a single prize this turn, might as well use not the most important Pokemon to deal with it. Looks like we're going to grab 1 more Curlia off the Clara. 1 more refinement here. If we could get like something like the Peace plus an Ultra Ball. There's a Gardevoir EX. might just be, or might just start swinging here with the Gardevoir EX potentially, because that was the attachment for turn, I believe. So maybe this play is just saying, preventing them from taking a knockout, right? They're gonna need another Shiny Arcana Gardevoir plus an energy attachment for turn to take this knockout, but we know that's something they can do here. As they go down to 4 prizes. Mew now in the active. Again, Celebrations Mew absolutely showing its worth in the deck. You know, not only does it really help you set up here, but just being able to pivot to it almost every turn is absolutely crucial. As we see another refinement here, we do get the Palpad. We shuffle in a couple of supporters we need, but we're going to use the Mysterious Tail first, grabbing the Battle VIP Pass, just a discard target there. As we Ultra Ball here, see what we opt to find. Zacian V seems like a juicy target. Looks like it's going to be a second Gardevoir EX. No, it has to be the Zacian V here, I believe, because nothing else takes a knockout on this Gardevoir unless we use the Miriam first, potentially. But we still have another Ultra Ball. Something of note as well, Morgan has no cards left in deck, so the play is going to have to be the Miriam here, shuffling in the full 5 Pokemon. Oh no, sorry, there's still 10 cards, excuse me. Could have sworn I saw no cards in the deck there, but it's probably during the deck search. There we go. We're going to see the Miriam shuffling in a couple of cards to find a second Gardevoir EX. Again, we could use it just to protect ourselves from the Mewtwo V Union. And I think just getting the Shining Arcana a little bit better for sure. Arcana drawing us 2 more cards. We do get the Beach Court. I like the Beach Court, right? Saves you 20 HP on the Mew. Oh, looks like they are just going to attach to the active in any case. As we now attach to the active Zacian. I see the logic there. They didn't drop the Beach Courts because it also, you know, it also helps your opponent, right? They also have their own Mew. It does have 40 HP. That means they can no longer Psychic Embrace onto that Mew. Right, we got 5 energies now, and that's 200 damage. Gonna need a little bit more. Could be thinking, should we take this knockout? All right, here we go. Psychic Embrace. Yeah, all right. For a sec, I was worried it might have been a PTCGL bug there. Yeah, we're going to need a little bit more there. 7 energies is just enough. 240 damage. 270 damage, excuse me. Which is a knockout on that Gardevoir EX. Back over to James. If there's ever a time to get that Mewtwo V Union, now is that time. They are down to 1 prize. A Gust wins them the game here. Or even potentially a second Zacian V. Something they could do here, if possible. Actually, I don't think there's a way they could grab... Yeah, I don't think there's a way to knock out Gardevoir EX with Mewtwo V Union here. So, because right now on the board, there's only 1 Gardevoir EX. No Curlias in play. If you take a knockout on that Gardevoir, there's no more means of energy acceleration. That means they have to work with a 7 energy Zacian V. No cards left in the deck as we Palpad here. Shuffling a couple more. Maybe see that Miriam go back into the deck, because we might have to refine to get that to discard this Mewtwo V Union. It has to be Mewtwo V Union, right? Take a knockout on both the Zacian and potentially the Mew and force your opponent to have a second Zacian. Or the Gust. Let's see what they have. Gardevoir EX is also a potential attacker, but we already have the Shiny Arcana Gardevoir. And hoping your opponent doesn't have an energy is a little tougher. Actually, even with Mewtwo V Union, even with Mewtwo V Union, the max you can get to is 250 HP. So this might have been just checkmate here from the start. Sorry, the max you could go down to is 270 HP. As we do play Roxanne here, limiting our opponent's choices. It almost, it almost feels like checkmate on board, right? To be able to retreat the Gardevoir. Yeah, if we had 10 more HP, potentially, we would have been fine, especially since we did draw into the Fog Crystal there. I think James played to the best of their capabilities, but again, hoping that Gardevoir doesn't draw energy, hoping that any deck doesn't draw energies is a very big ask. All right, we do see the Mewtwo V Union come into play. 4 prizes. Yeah, there's no way here to take 4 prizes, unfortunately. If they were able to take... Like, they're one turn away, right? If they were able to take a prize a little bit earlier, then it is a possibility. Because right now, they're going down to 1, just like that. Oh, they could put damage onto the Gardevoir. Excuse me. That 20 damage means the world, actually, now that I think about it. They're going to need to draw the Zacian V, which they do have access to with the Fog Crystal. Unless, of course, both are already in the discard pile or it is the last prize. That 20 damage is the world for this Gardevoir, or for this Mewtwo. There's a Ralts. We do also have access to Roxanne, Shining Arcana. 12 cards left in the deck. If we hit an energy off this Shining Arcana, that could be a thing as well. But we do have the Zacian, so we do have the knockout. Absolutely great plays here by both players. Again, Fog Crystal out showing how absolutely powerful this flexible card is. Yeah, here we go. We just have to Psychic Brace enough energy to the active to retreat. And that looks like more than enough energy to deal with the Mewtwo V Union here. As James is going... Morgan here is going to tie the series up as we go into a game 3 here for the top for the top 8 of the late night series. Here it is, Storm Slash for the knockout. And we're going to a game 3 this way. Again, James is going to be able to go first, which is going to be absolutely huge in this matchup. Because by going first, that means you're evolving first, really forcing Morgan to have that rare candy hand to be able to start swinging a little bit sooner. You can't. Here we go. Game 3 of the late night number 92. Both these players playing for that opportunity to get invited to the late night invitational to bring them that much closer to Yokohama, Japan. A lot on this line, a lot on the line here for this game. Looking at the other side of the ladder, it looks like Joe Higashi was able to take a win here against Top Deck Please. So we have a Inteleon Urshifu or the Rapid Strike box in top 4 for the late night. Only other game completed at the moment. So both players start here, starting with a Radiant Greninja now in the active. It will use that concealed cards. Both players this time not starting with their Mews, but James there getting the Battle VIP pass just to get it there onto the bench as we retreat to the Mew. Mew here maybe trying to find one more Battle VIP pass to get a little bit more, but looks like, yeah, it looks like Mysterious Tail failed there, unfortunately. But we do get 2 routes now in play. Back now to Morgan. Morgan does find 1 Ralts. They do have 2 Ralts in play at the moment here. Does get an attachment before turn, and it's going to be a big rip here. Professor's Research does find the Mew Battle VIP pass. Not too bad. A lot of great cards in hand. Going to opt for the Battle VIP pass first here. Getting, do we get the Radiant Greninja? Looks like we are grabbing. Could grab the Radiant Greninja. Could grab something like the Zacian off the Battle VIP pass. To grab a Psychic Energy with this Fog Crystal. Maybe we're just gonna forego the Mew altogether potentially. Yeah, looking at the hand, there's still, we could use the level ball, find maybe the Fort Ralts, so go into the Mew, essentially find us another level ball potentially. Looks like we only have 1 Refinement Ralts in the deck, plus the Mirage Step Ralts. We did have to discard 1 Curlia a little bit earlier, so I 100% believe in going into the Mew here. Maybe potentially find something like the Rare Candy, because it looks like you might need it, but it's going to be a Teleportation Step, I believe, off the Ralts, doing 10 damage to the Mew. Maybe here doing a little bit of an adjustment there. Again, it's very tempting to go into the Celebrations Mew, get a couple more cards. Great, it's great for your setup. But Morgan here, maybe identifying that Mew is an easy prize, right? For the Mewtwo V-Union, putting 6 somewhere to take a prize is always good. So maybe playing around that as we see the first piece of the Mewtwo V-Union hit the discard pile. Second Curlia now grab from that level ball, getting the refinement trait going. Looks like, yeah, we're gonna get a Fog Crystal here off the Celebrations Mew. Able to find us maybe 1 more Ralts. Not too bad there. And let's see what else we have to work with. Might just have to be a pass. Again, there's no way for James here to really start swinging this turn specifically. And there it is. Just a pass back over to Morgan. Gets the Miriam, actually. Not opposed to that Miriam. There's 1 Refinement Curlia in the discard pile. Could be worth to use here. That is the only way to draw besides the Professor's Research, but concealed cards has to be big here. Netting maybe a Rare Candy or even a level ball could be big. Ultra Ball, well, it's gonna have to make do. Ultra Ball discarding both the Mew, maybe Professor's Research here. We do have the Pal Pad, and really just depend on this 1 Curlia. Can the 1 Refinement get the train going? Looks like it is going to be this Beach Core discarded here instead. Here we go. 1 Curlia. If we get Rare Candy here, we can start drawing as well with Shining Arcana. Level Ball nets us another Refinement as well. Big 2 cards. What do we discard? Looks like we're opting to discard the Gardevoir EX. Again, we're already down the Miriam, but we already have the Palpad. Rare Candy off the Refinement. Rare Candy, again, able to evolve Ralt straight into that Shining Arcana Gardevoir to net us a little bit more. Draw 2 more here. Maybe a level ball. Looks like one of them is an energy. We can opt to attach it. Looks like we're going to keep it in the hand, potentially. Don't think there's a clean attack here just yet. Keeping it in hand means we do have, we can use it to conceal cards later. It looks like we're going to attach it to the Radiant Greninja. It might just have to be a pass here. Okay, we got a lot done off the concealed cards. Getting those 2 cards netted us both Kirlia and Gardevoir, so that's not a bad turn here. We're going to use Palpad now. Putting back in a couple of supporters. Something that could be very scary, though, is James. If James could get out Mewtwo V-Union this turn and just start taking out the Kirlias, the Ralts, before they can turn into the Gardevoir EX, that could be very big. Limit your opponent's board. Let's see what they find here. Again, concealed cards, netting them 2 more. Just gonna need to find some pieces. We're gonna first Refinement. What's the discard? Battle VIP Pass isn't a Mewtwo V-Union piece. Gonna use Mysterious Tail now. Maybe trying to find something like an Ultra Ball. Mysterious Tail. Mew whiffing 2 for 2 at this point. Or 2 for 3. As we use this Refinement. Discarding another Battle VIP Pass. Again, great cards to see in the discard pile at this point. Do we have it? Wait, do we have the Mewtwo V-Union? There's only 2 Pokemon. Yeah, there's only 2 pieces. They needed 2 more there. What would be crazy if they had Ultra Ball in hand? Just Ultra Ball 2 pieces right off the bat. They also haven't played their supporter yet for turn. Gardevoir EX now hits the board, so we're going to start swinging at the very least. There's an Ultra Ball! Manaphy and for a Sky Seal Stone for another Kirlia. Not too bad. Okay. So maybe not the V-Union turn just yet. As we just hit another Refinement here. Discarding Temple of Sinnoh, getting 2 more cards. Again, supporter hasn't been played yet. They could play something like the Research, potentially. Escape Rope, absolutely big card here. Getting a little bit more of a juicier target. You want to take down those Ralts. You want to take down the Kirlias or the Gardevoir. So we're opting to attack with the Gardevoir EX here. Excuse me. All right, Gardevoir EX now powered up with the Judge. Not too bad, but again, Morgan does have access to at least draw 4. Does get 1 more Kirlia, but again, Kirlia that doesn't quite do that much at the moment. As we take this knockout, going down to 5 prizes. Getting ahead of the prize is absolutely huge as we promote the Radiant Greninja. It does have the energy. We want that energy in the discard pile. Gonna go ahead and refine here. Refine, discarding the Battle VIP Pass. What are we looking for? To get another Gardevoir. We need a Gardevoir EX, potentially. We need quite a bit. We need quite a bit here. Level Ball does find us another Kirlia. The correct Kirlia. Yeah, question is, do we have... Looks like we could use the Serena first. Or Refine. Big question here. Or, again, lots of options. Refine, Shining Arcana, Serena. We do draw into a Miriam. Miriam does net us 3 cards. It is a little bit more than the Serena at this point. Or we can refine a little bit more. We're looking for the Gardevoir EX. There's a Gardevoir EX and the energy, and unenergy, excuse me. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 energies, 4 energies, 5 energy potentially. We need 7 here. If we evolve into the Shining Arcana, we're committing that we're not going to attack this turn, which is a very tough choice. Again, only one of the Kirlias on the bench can evolve here. I think we still need a couple more energies in the discard pile. We're going to go opt to play this Miriam, shuffle in a couple of Pokemon there, draw 3. Getting Gardevoir EX plus the Ultra Ball, 2 energies. That might just be enough here. There's 2 energies, 3 energies in the discard pile. 4, 5, 6. No, we need 1 more. Concealed cards. If concealed cards can net us 1 more energy. Fog Crystal is that 1 more energy. Just like that, things came together here. Gardevoir EX now being played. We do have the Ultra Ball. Ooh, looks like we're going to opt to retreat here. Yeah, we're going to opt to retreat here to the Shining Arcana Gardevoir. Yeah, attachment plus the Ultra Ball could grab us another Ross. We have the rare candy as well. So this is a pretty big turn here. Looks like we're opting to grab the Zacian V over something like the Ralts, interestingly enough. Maybe fearing the Mewtwo V Union turn, potentially. We're going to Psychic Embrace here. Bring this Gardevoir down to 20 HP. But take 2 prizes. Not too bad. Here it is, 270 damage onto that Gardevoir EX, taking 2 prizes. That hand came together very quickly. Now back to James. I'm very curious how James can respond here. I think this is the turn. This is the turn you Mewtwo V Union, potentially. There it is. Refinement, discarding that Mewtwo V Union piece. Need to find a Gardevoir EX plus the Mewtwo V Union piece. They could essentially take a 2-prize turn here, taking a knockout on Gardevoir and the Kirlia. But that could be very scary. Again, by not being able to take out that Gardevoir EX, a Morgan has the potential to just take a knockout on the Mewtwo V Union with a Zacian V. Oh, things could get dicey, actually. Things could get dicey. Maybe the play here is maybe just attack with something like the Mew at this point, right? Take a knockout on the Gardevoir. Because Mewtwo V Union's only going to last a turn in this board state. But then again, when is the perfect time to play it is also the question. Yeah, looks like we're going to go ahead and Psychic Embrace here. Attaching 1 energy to that Mew. They could opt to attack with the Gardevoir again. Force Morgan here to really attach energies. Because again, by attaching energies, you're putting damage on the board, making it a little bit easier for Mewtwo V Union to take knockouts, potentially. But there it is, 2 energies now on to that Mew. Again, this Mew has been doing a lot of work for sure. As we get an energy attachment now onto the Gardevoir EX, I like that play. Getting an early attachment on that Gardevoir could potentially mean it's only 20 damage potentially. As James just takes a knockout there. I don't know the last time I saw the Celebrations Mew ever attack, if ever. But it's just enough to take a knockout on that Gardevoir. I'm going to use Kirlia here, discarding the Battle VIP pass. They do have Zacian in hand. I don't know if they have enough energy in the discard pile to essentially go for a Gust plus a Gust play, potentially. Do have a level ball here, finding the Ralts. Again, I question maybe grabbing the Ralts a little bit earlier, because we do have access to a rare candy plus another Gardevoir. Might have been the play. But we might just start swinging here with the Gardevoir EX. Oh, looks like the Cresselia hits the board. again, Cresselia has the attack Moon Glow reversed. Right now, there's 4 psychic Pokemon. So that's potentially 80 damage anywhere on the board. Could potentially take a knockout on a Curlia, for example. Which I'm sure they would not mind. Again, that's for 1 energy. Taking a knockout on the Curlia and keeping getting 2 energy stuck on that Mew. Definitely does not feel good here, but at the same time, you're also spreading your damage across the board, right? That's another scary thing with this play here. We're going to see it now. Moon Glow reverse. Getting rid of all that damage. Something of note, again, their own Gardevoir here has 2 energies in play with no damage. They could potentially just attack here with a full 310 HP Gardevoir to deal with, which seems very tough. Back here to James. Very curious how they respond. Again, there's no damage on the board. Maybe this is the turn we attack with the Gardevoir EX potentially, but we get a lot of nuances in this matchup here. Trying to think of the best time to really go for the Mewtwo V-Union, but with the threat of getting it 1 hit knocked out, definitely doesn't feel good. As we go ahead and find the Mewtwo V-Union there. Something they could do is just take a knockout on the Shining Arcana Gardevoir with the Mewtwo V-Union. Go down to 3 prizes, and then Zacian will have to try to take the knockout while there are 4 energies stuck on a different Pokemon. A lot of lines here. And now being played. Let's see what they decide to do here. Again, Roxanne seems to be a lie when you're drawing into 2 professors' research. In theory, this is the turn to Mewtwo V-Union, right? You Mewtwo V-Union, get rid of the lone Pokemon that essentially draws card and threatens your Mewtwo V-Union. After a Roxanne to 2, assuming your opponent bricks from that point. But might just be an attack here with the Gardevoir EX. Curious to see if they had an energy attachment from hand, just to keep that Gardevoir a little bit healthy. No, it's going to be 240 damage there. So, believe Shining Arcana should be able to take this knockout. Here we go, 190 damage now on to that Cresselia. As we just find ourselves in a supporter-filled hand. Gonna go for the research here. Getting double Zacian. We can't attack with the Zacian here. You have to attack with something like a single prize Pokemon. If we put too much damage on the Zacian, we could potentially fall to a 3 prize turn. As again, James is down to the last 3 prizes. We are going to find ourselves the Curlia. It's giving it at least 10 more HP there. Shiny Arcana nets us no energies, but that is a-okay. We go here and Psychic Embrace. I think here for James, he has to find a way to Roxanne 1 more time, or at least judge here. Because right now, Morgan has game in hand, potentially. That's the beauty of sometimes depending on your board instead of your hand. Getting Ultra Ball here, just thin out the hand, discarding a Zacian and a rare candy. We're just gonna go for the Brainwave for the knockout here. I like the discard of the Zation there. It means Clara is a live card after a Roxanne potentially. Let's see if they have it again. They're gonna need the Palpad plus the Roxanne, I believe, plus getting the Mewtwo V-Union out. Quite a bit, but not an impossibility. Let's see, Ultra Ball off the Mew here. There's only one Kirlia in play, so we're only gonna net draw 4 cards outside of our supporter. There's the Gardevoir EX. Mewtwo V-Union now in play. There's no hand disruption. Zacian already in hand, ready to deal with this Mewtwo V-Union. Was that 4 energy attached to the Mewtwo? Interesting. Boss's orders on the on the Psychic Embrace Gardevoir. I see the line here. They're gonna go ahead and final burn 300 damage onto that Gardevoir. Means you cannot retreat it. Absolutely huge play here by James. By you doing 300 damage onto this Gardevoir, you can't easily retreat it, right? You can't attach energy to take a knockout on your own Gardevoir EX. It takes 2 to retreat. And with that, things are lining up here. Absolutely huge play by James. We're going to go ahead and find the Clara. Clara, what does it net us here? Could net us another Gardevoir, but without the train. Yeah, there's no way to retreat this Gardevoir without having to attach at least 2 cards. There's Shining Arcana here. Shining Arcana a couple of times. That decks us out. Absolutely huge play here for James. I was thinking 4 energies now on the Gardevoir. That only signifies, again, doing the 300 damage attack. Maybe the little bit of a downside there of not putting any damage on the Gardevoir EX. And just like that, we should see a 3-prize turn, but no, it's going to be a pass deck out. And James is going to progress to top 4 of the late night series. Let's go ahead and head over to the desk. Oh, what a game. That woke me up at the end there. That play, sometimes you see lines that these players you don't see lines that these players have, and you have to play to your out. Again, some things Gardevoir EX or the Gardevoir decks do struggle with is retreating. And yeah, I think that was played absolutely masterfully, as we do have our top 4 for both sides of the bracket. Let's go ahead and find ourselves another game. We have Pink Onion against Ploopy. Pink Onion again, Ploopy playing the Mew Genesect against Pink Onion's Goodra V-Star. That game's already up, or we could go into Rapid Strike Urshifu versus Gardevoir. Yeah, let's go ahead and check out the Mew deck real quick. And this is the other side of top 4. Looks like Ploopy was able to take 1 game off Pink Onion. But let's hop in. Again, Ploopy is up 1 game here in the top 4. They are 1 more win away from getting to the finals here. Again, Mew VMAX and Goodra V-Star, 2 decks that have been established in the meta. Even before rotation. If anything, both these decks do survive rotation. Still absolutely great decks. And it comes down to, in my mind, this matchup comes down to escape ropes, right? By playing escape rope, you reset the effect of Goodra V-Star. And by resetting that effect, you can potentially take that big knockout. It's no longer a 350 HP behemoth. Something of note as well is the Drapions on the Goodra side of the board. Sorry, Goodra's deck there. Let's see, they play one Drapion V, so getting a key knockout with that Drapion is going to be absolutely huge here. As, yeah, looks like Goodra did start us off, passing it over to Ploopy. Ploopy finding one Genesect and a Mew. We're at least drawing 3 cards with the Nest Ball. Gets another Genesect. Things are looking good here. And a Feather Ball finds another Mew. Again, we did lose Quick Ball, but we still have so many things at our disposal. Follow it up by a Judge. Not too bad. Judge doesn't hurt Mew at all, since we can draw so much more after this. As we leave, the opponent would actually with a terrible hand here. All cards are currently unplayable. Mirage Gate, you need 7 cards in the Lost Zone. Battle VIP Pass can only be played on the very first turn. And Energy Recycler, well, you need energies in the discard pile to use that. As we use Cram-O-Matic here. Can we get it? No, looks like it is Tails, but I'm not sure what else we need in this turn. Probably just a DTE to just get attachment for the turn. Maybe even a Path to the Peak, potentially, to shut off something like the Radiant Greninja. We find another Feather Ball here. Should find us the Mew VMAX for the next turn. And that might just be it here. If we don't have the energy attachment for a turn, looks like there it is, the Path to the Peak. Stopping Radiant Greninja and potentially Drapion V. So we pass it over now back to the Goodra side. Looks like Horus Experiment off the top. Not too bad, not too bad. Gets the Drapion, very important card for sure. Switch, all great cards in hand now. Raihan, great for the next turn. Looks like we can opt to get a Horus Experiment. Looks like we're gonna grab the Ultra Ball instead. Maybe evolve the Goodra into Goodra V-Star this turn. Make it a little bit safer, right? 220 HP is very, very easy to hit from Mew VMAX. Excuse me. But looks like we're going to opt for the Horus Experiment instead. Future-proofing our hand. It might just have to be a pass. No, we do have a switch. We can Flower Selecting one more time here. Gets the Goodra V-Star anyway off the Flower Selecting. Gonna lose a Boss's Orders, though. But very big card as we evolve here. Pass it over back to the Mew deck. Now they're going to have to go Mew VMAX, Gust, double a damage modifier to potentially triple damage modifier, excuse me, to potentially take this knockout, as we see the Lost Vacuum sending the Boss's Orders to the Lost Zone. Do have the Mew VMAX and a second Mew VMAX. One Power Tablet now being played. Let's see what else. And the Boss's Orders now onto the Goodra. Again, if they didn't get the Goodra V-Star, this is almost as good as knockout right now. They still need 2 more damage modifiers plus the double Turbo Energy Choice Belts 1. Second Choice Belt, unfortunately, you're going to need a different one. Cram-O-Matic now being played, discarding a Switch card. Heads on the Cram-O-Matic. Again, sometimes in Mew, you don't draw for it. You just have to flip for the card you need. If I had to guess, that's the double Turbo Energy. Yeah, now being attached to the Mew. All we need to do now is find one more damage modifier. One more, no, excuse me, it has to be specifically Power Tablet here to take this knockout. If we miss out on this knockout, things could get very hairy very quick. We do have an Ultra Ball here. I think the perfect hand for Mew in this position is one more Power Tablet plus a Path to the Peak to potentially stop a Drapion V, excuse me. Fusion Strike System here, drawing 3 more cards. Do we see it? Cram-O-Matic, potentially here. Discarding a Lost Vacuum. Can Mew get lucky? Unfortunately not. I believe they're out of Fusion Strike systems. Something they could do is they could Psychic Leap here instead. Just get damage onto the Goodra. There's a Path to the Peak. So again, something they could do. They could Psychic Leap. They could use Techno Blast. Looks like it is going to be Techno Blast there for 250 damage. Second Hisuian Goodra was drawn there. They're going to need to draw a Switch card off this Horus Experiment. No Switch card. That means that Goodra is stuck in the active here. Very tough choice here as well for the Horus Experiment. Definitely need an energy. Boss's Orders, we did lose one. Yeah, looks like we're opting for... Oh, wait, can we attack with the Mirage Gate at this point? Looks like we can! Mirage Gate now activated. Means we are going to be swinging with this Goodra at the very least. And this is very, very important damage now on the Mew VMAX. There it is, Rolling Iron for 200 damage. Back over now to Mew. Mew has to find a way to... I think what they want here is to judge, and that's it. They have 2 DTs in the field. They want to keep the Path to the Peak in play. The opponent just has a little bit of a big hand, right? You want to mitigate that. Judge would be the perfect card if they have it here. If not, taking the knockout here wouldn't be the end of the world. If they take this knockout, they could potentially Psychic Leap can't do it because right now Rolling Iron is in effect. It's going to have to be... Oh, looks like they are going to opt to Lost Vacuum here. Discarding the Silene, or sending the Silene to the Lost Zone, sending the Path to the Peak as well to the Lost Zone. Something I have to check is how many more Path to the Peaks are we playing in the Mew? Looks like they do play 4. That's a heavy line. Palpad now being played. Didn't quite see what was put back, but if I had to guess, maybe a couple of judges. I'm going to draw 6 here. Again, now we're looking for maybe another path to play. There's the Forest Seal Stone. That's any one card they want. Do we just find the judge here right off the bat? Yeah, there it is. There's a big, big judge here. Shuffle up. Let's see what Goodra draws. Absolutely huge judge. Can we find the Path to the Peak as well? Again, they do play 2 more. Very heavy line of path, in fact. Excuse me. Looks like we are no path in play, so we're just going to go ahead and swing here. 140 damage onto the Goodra V-Star. Mew VMAX is taking 2 prizes. This is going to be a very, very important turn here for the Goodra player. They can draw into Drapion, take 3 prizes. There's another Mew in the bench right now with a lot of damage. That's our prize line there. Take 3, take another 3. There's an Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball can find this Drapion and we do have energy to retreat. Can conceal cards here as well. Again, we can't discard a lot of energies because we do have access to the Energy Recycler. Ultra Ball discarding 2 Battle VIP passes. Easy choice there. And again, because they didn't have the Path to the Peak, Drapion is going to have a good time. Going to have to attach to the active there. Retreat onto the Drapion. They even have the Cramorant here. They find a Gust, they can win this game. Go ahead and Energy Recycler. Let's put a couple energies back into the deck, making sure that the Mirage Gates are live, because even Radiant Greninja can even close out this game here. Let's go for the Dynamic Tail. The bane of every Mew VMAX's existence. They take 3 prizes here. Gets a Stadium, Energy, a lot of good cards here. We go back now to the opponent's side of the field. They need another Mew VMAX. Power Tablet plus the DTE should be enough to take this knockout here. Do they have something like a Roxanne or a Judge potentially? Gonna use these Ultra Ball, maybe find a second Mew V, just so that we have the potential to Psychic Leap, or maybe even just another Genesect just to really go through the deck. Looks like it is gonna be the Mew V. And another Ultra Ball just to thin it out. Looks like there was a Judge and the Lost Vacuum, but we're not going for Judge. I believe we're going for Roxanne here. See what they have it. Cram-O-Matic. Can we get it here? Very important Cram. Looks like we do. We don't have to draw through our deck any more than we have to. Again, it's a 5-card deck. Path to the Peak and the Roxanne here. I believe the Mew player is down to the last card in their deck. After this Roxanne, we're just going to go ahead and cross Fusion Strike Techno Blast for the knockout here. Mew VMAX going down to 2. Goodra can potentially win this turn if they can find 2 Mirage Gates. Pokegear is an absolutely huge top deck. We're going to go ahead and thin the deck a little bit more. Gets the Cramorant. If we can find a Boss's Orders off the Pokegear, that is game as well here. Absolutely huge Pokegear. What does it find us? A lot riding in on the Pokegear. It is just the 1 Boss's Orders. And just like that, hand is perfect. It's going to be the Escape Rope onto the Cramorant. And Boss's Orders onto the Mew. Just like that. The set is all tied up. We're going to a game 3 here. Absolutely huge. Again, getting that early missing the knockout on the Goodra V-Star was absolutely huge here. Not only do you miss the knockout, that Goodra V-Star had the 1 turn to just swing into that Mew VMAX to set up that knockout. But that's a-okay, because now we go into a game 3. Both these players playing for the chance to play at the finals at tonight's late night number 92. And they had to best over 300 players to be at this position. And they are that much closer to Yokohama, Japan. Again, where else can you win a trip to Japan to compete at the Pokemon World Championships from the comfort of your own home than here at the late night series? Again, we've just been seeing some absolutely clutch plays here tonight. We saw one in top 8 with the Mewtwo V-Union doing 300 damage, not to knock out, to prevent retreats. And now we've seen Goodra just come back off literally 1 card, off top decking the Pokegear and getting that 1 Boss's Orders they need to clear it out. But again, only one of these players can make it to the finals. Battle VIP Pass, Nest Ball. I always say this: if any deck opens the Battle VIP Pass, you know you're going to have a good time. There's just so much value in finding 2 Pokemon for 1 card, especially if those Pokemon can draw you even more cards here. Looks like the board is now triple Mew, 2 Genesects. Didn't quite get this 3rd Genesect. Just gonna have to be a pass here as we go over now to the Goodra player's turn. Does have a couple of Nest Balls to work with themselves. They have the Beach Court as well. They could question is, do they find... Oh, interesting. They go for the 3rd Comfey there. In my mind, I was thinking, do they go for the Goodra or do they go for Cramorant? Big Flower selecting there. Gets the Chorus Experiment. Could get us the Goodra V-Star, and the Energy. Energy does allow us to conceal some cards here. We do have the Goodra. Again, it's always scary to that initial bench of the Goodra V is always the scariest thing, because Mew, it just has such a huge target on its back, right? So we retreat now to another Comfey, finding a Chorus Experiment for the next turn. Not too bad there, but I have a strangest feeling. Oh no, if they gust here, they can't. Yeah, if they gust, they can't judge. That's the upside here. Question is, what does the Mew VMAX have up their sleeves? They had another DTE and the Mew V, so they will be taking a prize. Question is, on what? We do play the Escape Rope here, putting up the Comfey. Mentioned earlier, the Escape Rope sometimes could be key in this matchup. Lost Vacuum discarding the Beach Court there. 1 Power Tablet. This This just signifies, yeah, we're going for the Gust. I'm committing the power tablet here to go for the Gust. Let's see what else. Again, so many cards are playable for Mew. Ultra Ball, Nest Ball, Feather Ball, all of those are live to try and thin out your hand. Cram-O-Matic, a lot of cards here. Looks like it's going to be a Judge. Judge instead of a Gust there. Unfortunately, we do see... Yeah, that means we're only taking one prize. Maybe that's just enough. Maybe we go... The question is, do they go for the knockout? Do they Psychic Leap here? Do you go for the Psychic Leap? Or do you stay? I believe staying with the Mew VMAX is optimal. It's just I'm used to when a Mew VMAX player plays a power tablet with Comfey in the active, I'm expecting some leaping. But it is going to be just another Ultra Ball here. Getting another Mew VMAX. Maybe potentially just to safeguard themselves from an escape rope, or just to thin out the hand to be able to draw with the Fusion Strike system there. Path to the Peak as well. Love to end it on that. So we go ahead and Max Miracle for the knockout. Going down to 5. Let's see what Goodra has in store for us. Again, there's the Chorus's Experiment. It's going to be big here. Gets another Chorus, gets another Mirage Gate, and Ultra Ball or the Switch. Potentially looks like it's going to be the Switch. Might just be a turn. We try and go for maybe a Cram-O-Matic attack. A Crystal Cave to bump the Stadium could be interesting. I didn't even know we still had Crystal Cave, to be honest. But great grab there. One more Flower selecting Melanie or the Raihan. Both cards here technically have this same effect, but maybe Raihan a little bit more powerful. Instead of a draw 3, get that targeted search. I say technically have the same effect because Mew VMAX should be able to take a knockout here back to back as long as you... Oh my, getting the Drapion there off the top. And the Mirage Gate. Now is the time the Mirage Gate for sure, because this Goodra should be safe for a turn, because right now Mew has to deal with a Drapion. Absolutely huge here. And here we go, Drapion taking the knockout on the Mew VMAX, going down to 3. Very, very big turn here for the Goodra player. Gets double Boss's Orders and a Battle VIP Pass off the prizes. And yes, let's see here. Looks like they opt to Gust the Goodra instead here. Instead of having to deal with a Drapion. Very interesting play. Could signify they do have the Roxanne. Sorry, they do have the Path to the Peak. And I believe it has to be Path Roxanne here to give them the biggest opportunity to win. Oh, no Roxanne. They get to keep the hand. Take this knockout, and with Raihan in hand, that might just be it. Again, Raihan able to get absolutely anything from the deck. As long as they have a Stadium, they win this game. Or even a Mirage Gate does it here. So many things does it here. Fortunately, Mew was not able to disrupt the hand. Yeah, Raihan, Energy Acceleration, plus the Energy Attachment 4-turn, plus a Mirage Gate is enough. Sometimes you just have to go old school with it. There's the Raihan. Do they have the Stadium? No Stadium. Do they have Mirage Gate? There is a Mirage Gate. Wow, so they only had one Stadium in the deck at that point. There it is, Mirage Gate. And with one more attachment for turn, just enough. Dynamic Tail for the knockout, just like that. Goodra makes it to the finals here. Pink Onion Yes, I bet Pink Onion makes it to the finals of the late night number 92. One match closer to being tonight's champion. Absolutely huge. Still waiting on the other side of the bracket. Again, it's James Sims against Joe Higashi. Let's go ahead and head over to the desk real quick. And what a game. Absolutely huge for Pink Onion to just bring that one back. Again, it's been a nail biter for sure. I think Mew was able to do exactly what it needed to do, right? It played path. It had some disruption, except for that last part there. And yeah, it did what it had to do to try and win the game. Again, Mew was able to take that first game. It was able to take that first game. They were one game away from being in the finals, but Goodra able to take it back off a couple of key plays for sure. Let me check here if we can find ourselves the other side of the table. We can check out that match as well. Looks like James Sims is live here, so we should be going here shortly. Give me 1 second to set it up. But what an intense past couple of games here. Absolutely intense. Oh. Give me 1 second. Looks like stream is done, so we might be at the finals at this point. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, looks like we are. Looks like Joe Higashi and Inteleon Urshifu actually able to take a win there on the Gardevoir deck. So we have Goodra against Rapid Strike. Not a matchup I've ever seen before. So should be an experience for you and for me. Let me try and get that game here. Give me 1 second. But again, what an intense past couple of games here at the late night. I expect nothing less from the caliber that the late night brings. Again, with over 300 players fighting it out for sure. All right, let's go ahead and hop onto our game and let me know, what deck are you rooting for? Do you think Goodra or Rapid Strike? Rapid Strike, Urshifu, and Inteleon is going to take the crown in tonight's late night. Again, it's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. I think it's going to come down to how many Pokemon, like how fast this Rapid Strike box is, right? And in theory, if you can take knockouts on Comfey, like take multiple prize turns multiple times, you should be able to win. But if you get to the point where the Goodra is able to set up, I think Goodra wins this matchup. Max damage output for both Rapid Strike, Urshifu, and Inteleon is 140. But we'll have to see. Again, Joe Higashi's deck does play multiple tricks and stuff like Radiant Alakazam and Medicham B. Medicham B, a very interesting deck. A card that allows you to take an extra turn. Yeah, so this is going to be interesting indeed. As we... Yeah, should be interesting here. Again, Joe Higashi against Pink Onion here at the finals of the late night number 92. And we're going to start this off. Looks like Inteleon's going to start us off here. Something of note as well, right? Goodra doesn't take a one-hit knockout on either Pokemon, on either Urshifu or Inteleon. I'm curious. No, actually, I was thinking if they played something like a Cheryl to get the full heal effect on the Inteleon. But it looks like they're playing a lot more aggressively. Finding the Urshifu here, absolutely huge. Double checking Pink Onion's deck. They do not play Manaphy. So it's been a minute since I've read Urshifu's attack. I'm trying to remember what it's called. G-Max Rapid Flow, I believe. An attack that has just again, this is essentially one of the oldest VMAXs we have in the format, and this is an attack that has this attack name has just taken so many knockouts in the past couple of years, if I remember right. I just remember Tord Reklev just being the absolute Rapid Strike Urshifu master. It's been scary to be able to play these small HP Pokemon when Rapid Strike Urshifu was in the format, and it seems to me we're back in that situation. Course Experiment on the first turn, not too bad there. I don't think they have anything else. V-Guard Energy could be interesting here. Maybe attached to V-Guard Energy or something like Cramrat. You will survive a G-Max Rapid Flow potentially, but it's going to go on to the Goodra. I'm curious if you can get an attack off here. Getting 110 damage off with the Cramrat could be big. Sending the Drapion into the Lost Zone is huge as well. You don't want that in the discard. You don't want that in play at all. I'm curious if they play something like Echoing Horn. They don't. Okay, no Echoing Horn on the Joe Higashi's deck. Looks like we're going to have the Melanie here. And just like that, we could see a 2-prize knockout. Just take a knockout both compies. Take a knockout on both engine and on the both support Pokemon. Let's see if they have the VMAX, though, actually. Might not have it just yet. Could be concerning. There's the Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball discarding the Water Energy and the Escape Rope. Does find the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX there. Not gonna lie, I love the animation on the board when the Urshifu hit the board. Very anime of Rapid Strike Urshifu, as we see G-Max Rapid Flow able to do 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Question is, to what? Do you do damage onto the Goodra? Do you take knockouts on the Comfey? In my mind, Comfey is the main target here. Take away your opponent's main source of getting cards into the Lost Zone. There it is. Again, this is a matchup I've never seen, to be honest. So it's going to be interesting to see it play out at the highest of caliber here at the finals of the late night series, as Joe Higashi goes down to 4 prizes. You're going to see concealed cards now come out of Radiant Greninja. Something Goodra does have access to is Melanie. Melanie could be a very big card here if they could draw into it, but unfortunately, Pokegear not able to quite do the job. We can attach there, can evolve to the Goodra, and just pass the turn from here. Again, we know for a fact they don't do that much damage onto the Goodra. If anything, it's going to be a multiple turn knockout, right? I'm not sure of the math, but it might be a 4 or 5 turn knockout. If you're let's see here. If you're reducing damage by 80, Urshifu or Inteleon do 70 to 150 damage. You're doing 70 damage a turn. You're gonna need to do that for 4 turns to take a knockout on the Goodra. That can use something like Moisture Star to heal all of that up. So again, despite Pink Onion just getting ahead, Joe Higashi getting ahead of the game, unfortunately just gonna be attached there and a pass. But it might just be the same here for Pink Onion. Both players don't have that much to work with. Joe did get the Remoraid into play. That means excuse me, that means Octillery. The Rapid Strike Search Octillery should be coming down again. Absolutely powerful card. Just you can search your deck for any Rapid Strike Pokemon. That means you can search for your not Pokemon, any Rapid Strike card. You can find yourself a supporter in like the Karina or the Energy, like the Rapid Strike Energy, or maybe you just need your VMAX. There's a huge research here, starting quite a bit. Maybe the play here is to go into the Inteleon VMAX potentially. That is the more reliable means of damage right now. Urshifu has to go into... Urshifu has to switch into the active to get the full the full 150 damage off, which is a little bit hard to do when you're in the active already. They could do G-Max Rapid Flow here for 40 damage to the active and 120 damage onto the Radiant Greninja. There's a double gunner, so we're just going to take a knockout on the Radiant Greninja as well, leaving Goodra against the world. And I think this is going to be a position, this is going to be a very, very interesting position to be in, because I 100% believe that Goodra can win this matchup by itself. And let's see. Let's see what else they have to work with. They're going to play an Ultra Ball here. Maybe find something like the Radiant Alakazam. Looks like discarding Clara and an Energy. So that was a very, very pricey Ultra Ball, in my opinion, to find the Radiant Alakazam. Again, Radiant Alakazam can move damage from one Pokemon to another. One of your opponent's Pokemon to another. Looks like we're moving the 20 damage off the Radiant Greninja onto the Goodra. Oh, looks like we aren't... Sorry, excuse me. I was thinking we're already mitigating damage with the Goodra. That's right. Without energy, you can't use Rolling Iron. So that was for the full effect. Well, almost full effect, because the V-Guard energy did reduce 30 there. We are going to find ourselves a couple of metal. We're going to opt to grab another Goodra V. It is a possibility here to just set up another Goodra for sure. Looks like we have Crystal Cave here to heal up 30 damage off the Goodra. Things are getting dicey very quick. Looks like we do get the... Again, we do have the Metal Energy. We're doing 230 damage a turn. We're essentially two-shotting both the VMAX Pokemon. And again, without something like a Cheryl to try and even things out when it comes to tanking, this Goodra might be able to win it by itself. Do see the Tower of Waters there come into play. I'm trying to think what else we can do here. We could go into something like the Medicham to try and get an extra turn. It's like we're spreading damage. Let me double check something. Joe Higashi does play one Escape Rope. Right, one Escape Rope. They could go Escape Rope, Boss, do 150 damage, plus something like a Choice Belt. They don't play Choice Belt. Might be tough. It might be really tough to take this knockout on the Goodra. But something Pink Onion just has to be mindful of is, again, that Escape Rope play. So they could be sitting pretty here, thinking, hey, you know what? I can survive one more turn. Maybe I won't use the heal just yet. There's the Rapid Strike energy now on to the Inteleon VMAX. And this is doing very, very small damage. 30 damage now onto the Goodra. Again, mitigated by both the V-Guard energy and the Rolling Iron. You're mitigating 110 damage per turn. That's quite a bit, especially when your max damage output is 150 or 140. We're going to see an Escape Rope here, potentially. Very, very curious here. Again, we're going to see the Escape Rope now come into play. Gonna curious on what they're going to opt to promote. Maybe the Urshifu. So essentially a 3 prize turn here. The next question is, do you Moisture Star? There it is, Moisture Star on the Goodra. And I don't know how many times you have to attack with the Inteleon just to get back that damage, right? You have the Escape Rope play will net you 140, and then what? Things are looking very tough here. I'm trying to think of more plays, more outs for the Inteleon deck, but I think Goodra might just be the perfect deck to counter this specific one. Again, 350 damage. Not even the fact that it's... Well, not the fact that it has an effective HP of 350. It's the mitigation that really stops Inteleon from moving here. Again, you're doing 30 damage per turn as a VMAX Pokemon. Roxanne here, absolutely huge though. if there's a way to get back into it, it's probably Roxanne. And yeah, we're just gonna see Alakazam just move a couple of damage here onto the Goodra. Energy retrieval will net us a couple of energies, so we can still use the double gunner effect on the Inteleon to just continuously put in 20 damage onto that Radiant Greninja. And there it is. We're gonna see the, again, just 30 damage off the Inteleon VMAX. Something that is possible. Here's Yoga Loop is an option here for Joe. However, I believe the Rolling Iron effects does stay on the Goodra for both your extra turns, if I'm not wrong, because that could be a potential. That could definitely be a potential if it does negate. But yeah, we're gonna see 230 damage now come down onto the Inteleon. I guess slowly but surely, right? Technically per turn they're doing 50 damage, but again, they do have the Gust in hand now. Joe has to find a way to disrupt this turn. Technically that's it. They just have to find a way to disrupt. I believe they play 2 Roxanne. Let me double check. No, they only play 1 Roxanne. No other means of disruption. So this is gonna go to Pink Onion. This is gonna be Pink Onion's game, almost certainly, unless there's a play I'm not quite seeing here. They have to win literally this turn. It's the Urshifu. Again, just doing 20 damage on to the Radiant Greninjas. That's the turn you use. No, it looks like it's just going to be a retreat there onto the Inteleon. If we just attack here, we do have the Gust. $30 damage onto the Goodra. Again, just V-Guard Energy plus the Rolling Iron. There it is. We do have the boss's orders. Going Rolling Iron for 230 damage. Take the knockout here. And just like that, we are 1 game away from becoming the late night number 92 champion. If I was Pink Onion right now, I'd be feeling very, very happy. I'd be feeling very comfortable. That was a very commanding game, despite having Goodra in the active and just passing. That's something you don't see every day. And despite taking that free hit, we were able to win the game. You know, we don't need anything. The Lost Zone, we don't need that much. In fact, as long as we get to attach almost every turn, we should be good. You know, who needs Mirage Gate? Who needs Melanie? Just wait 3 turns and win from there. Very curious to see how Joe responds to this situation. Again, if there's any type of adjustment they can do to swing this matchup. See it again. Joe should be able to go first here. It's just a matter of setup. Again, I'm very curious again if Yoga Loop resets Rolling Iron. In my mind, it doesn't, but I haven't quite, again, never seen that effect. never seen these 2 decks interact in any shape or form, to be honest. But that's what rotation brings us. It brings us surprises like these. Speaking of the Yoga Loop, Yoga Loop now in the active here. And it reads, if you put two damage counters on a Pokemon, if you knock something out, you take another turn. Very powerful effect. Looks like we're going to see Radiant Alakazam hit the board as well. And an Ultra Ball. Question is, which attacker are we going with? If I had to guess, maybe the Urshifu seems like the most optimal first early attacker. Especially if you can take a knockout on 2 Comphase, for example. Urshifu hits the board. Just up past the 3 cards in hand. If I had to guess, they're gonna need a lot to be able to put in the pressure this next turn. It all begins with a Melanie. If they can get a Melanie attachment onto the Urshifu VMAX, Rapid Strike Energy, and the Stadium to retreat, they can do 120 damage to 2 Pokemon. Definitely a possibility here. Looks like we're going to go ahead and select some flowers. Find ourselves the Ultra Ball there to get us the almost any Pokemon, but it's probably the Goodra V-Star. Ooh, again, V-Guard Energy, absolutely huge. We saw how much work something like the V-Guard Energy... Yeah, how much work something like the V-Guard Energy was able to put in. There it is. There's a Melanie. That means you get to accelerate water energy to one of your Pokemon. V attaches it there to the Rapid Strike Urshifu. There's a Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. Do we see... No, it's just going to be a pass. Not the most aggressive turns here for Joe. You see an Ultra Ball here now being played on Pink Onion side of the field. Ultra Ball could find them the Goodra V-Star. And with the Melanie and the attachment for turn, they're putting in the pressure. Concealed cards now being played, discarding that water energy. They can find something like the escape rope, just like I was about to say, because right now you could either do 200 damage to the Urshifu or take a knockout on the Radiant Alakazam, or you have the choice belt as well, take a knockout on the Medicham. The world is this Goodra's oyster, and I feel it slipping away here for Joe. Again, they weren't able to put in the same amount of aggression they were able to do on the first game, and even then, even when they had pretty much the perfect past couple of turns in that last game, Goodra was just able to really take over the entire match. As we do see the escape rope being played, Goodra now in the active, going to take a knockout on the Radiant Alakazam. We've seen that Radiant Alakazam really put in some work in the last game there. I mean, putting 20 damage from moving 20 damage from one of your Pokemon to something like the Goodra, it matters, especially when you're active Pokemon. Active Pokemon VMAX, mind you, is only doing 30 damage a turn. As we go back now onto the Medicham. See, we do have the Tower Waters and the Professor's Research. Not too bad there. Losing a couple of Pokemon. Do we find the energy? Again, it's a special energy, no real way to really search those out, the Rapid Strike energies, without something like the Octillery. Right now, we do see the Remoraid hit the board. Might just be a pass here, potentially. Might be a pass unless we have it. And even then, even if you have the Rapid Strike energy this turn, you're doing 40 damage. As we pass the turn here, we do have the switch here. Looks like we're going to search out a couple of cards to get the boss's orders. Pretty big. Bump the Stadium as well. Get the Goodra into active. Do you boss up the Urshifu here or just take this knockout? You could just take this knockout, go down to 2-3 prizes, and essentially save that boss's orders for targeting down the VMAX when it comes down to it. Here we go. We're going to see the Rolling Iron. 230 damage, excuse me, because of that choice. We'll take a knockout on the Medicham. Go down to 3 prizes. And again, if I was Pink Onion right now, I'd be thinking of my celebratory speech. They are so close to becoming the late night number 92 champion, besting over 300 players tonight, being that much closer to Yokohama, Japan. I'd be over the moon here. Again, Ultra Ball now being played for Joe. Could find them the Octillery, could find them the Stadium to potentially retreat, or the energy to be able to attack. Oh, looks like they are going to retreat first, using the free retreat there because of the beach court. I mean, if anything likes the beach, it is going to be the fish for sure. Gonna see the Rapid Strike search now coming into play, finding ourselves the Rapid Strike energy. No, it looks like it's gonna be another Inteleon there. Just have the Rapid Strike energy in hand. And do we go for the G-Max Rapid Flow? Do we go for the... I forget the name of the first attack for 150 damage to the active. Looks like we are just going to take knockouts here on the Comfys. Gale Thrust, excuse me. Gale Thrust or G-Max Rapid Flow. Looks like it's going to... It's taking a knockout on a Comfy and doing 10 damage to the Goodra. Ladies and gentlemen, you're discarding 3 energies. One of them a special energy. To do 10 damage to a Goodra V-Star. Definitely not a position you want to be in. Looks like... Yes, Coldest Experiment coming up. 2 Boss's Orders in hand. Even the Pokegear in hand as well. Again, we know for a fact Joe only plays 1 Roxanne with double boss in hand and even the Pokegear. They have to deal with this Goodra right here, right now. And there is no conceivable way, I believe, to deal with this Goodra in this deck, unfortunately. Second Inteleon VMAX getting grabbed right there. Could definitely spread a lot of damage across the board. I like how even if you somehow take a knockout on both Radiant Greninja and the Comfey, that brings your opponent down to 3 prizes. They could easily set up another Goodra V-Star in the time it takes for you to deal with 1. As we retreat here on to the Inteleon, big research here. And that definitely closed out the game. Research isn't end hand disruption. Goodra should survive the turn. Another Inteleon hits the board. I believe that was the Forest Seal Stone grabbing the Rapid Strike Energy G-Max Spiral for 30 damage, I believe. As we pass it over back to Pink Onion. Boss's Orders onto the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. Rolling Iron, 230 damage, takes the knockout, takes the last 3 prizes. And just like that, Pink Onion is your late night number 92 champion with Lost Box Goodra V-Star. Absolutely huge. Great to see Pink Onion here. Really come back from that Mew game, especially. Really play this, play a lot of their sets absolutely masterfully. With that, let's go head over to the desk real quick as we just say our goodbyes. Again, what an absolutely amazing set of matches. This has been a very, very eventful top 8. For me, one of my favorite moments is definitely the Mewtwo V Union doing 300 damage to a Gardevoir EX to prevent it from retreating and taking a 3 prize turn right after that. Let me know down in the comments below, or let us know in the Discord even what your favorite moment was from the top 8 this late night. Very eventful late night number 92 again. And I just have to say, again, if you like what you see here on the late night series, if you love the tournaments, if you love the Shuffle Squad, if you love the coverage here, don't forget to check out our sponsors down below, because supporting our sponsors supports the Shuffle Squad. So means we get more late nights, maybe get more prizes in the future. Again, it's been an absolutely amazing late night. My name is PrimeTimeWizardTv.